If you just want to go from the beginning, it literally kind of right as soon as you started, it started dying out.
Okay. All right. So we break up our stick work into 3 segments. We have group stick work where we will split up into 3 groups and have somewhere between 10 to 12 guys per group and cycle through those 3 groups. We also do a team stick work segment. And then we have a game stick work segment where it's mostly uneven numbers, a 2v1, a 3v2, a 4v3, a 5v4, emphasizing ball movement to kind of end in a quick place so we can keep going from there. But first thing that we'll talk about is group stick work. And mind you, these are, small groups, 10 to 12 guys. I'll kind of show you where we place those. So most of the things will be in the alleys because we'll be using the middle of the field for some sort of other stick work. So this is a 4-cone 3-man. Stole this from Ryan Moran at Maryland a number of years ago. The yellow triangles or orange triangles are cones. You can set those distances to whatever size you may want to get out of the drill, 15 yards box, 10 yards, 8 yards, whatever that is. 1, 2, and 3 in these 2 are in the drill. 4 and 5 are not in the drill. So if this is the case where 2 starts with the ball and he decides to throw to 3 or 1, that starts it. So if 2 throws to 3, 1 would have to get to the next cone and make that pass, and then 2 would have to then go to where 1 is, and it's just kind of a vicious cycle of those guys. Really, you can make the rules up to get whatever you think you need to get out of this drill. Catch with the outside hand, roll away. Catch with the outside hand, split to the inside. But everything that we do is around the cone. So you're around the cone to catch the ball, around the cone to make the pass, around the cone to get to the next cone. And we typically go somewhere between 30 to 40 seconds, rotate those next guys in, 2 guys pop out, 1 stays if you have those odd numbers, and we keep going from there. There's a bunch of things that you can get out of this, but for us, it's more of catch, moving your feet, roll away, make the pass, moving your feet, and move into the next spot. So it's one of those great drills to keep your feet moving, and it's got that kind of hidden physical activity within it for those guys. So, is there questions?
No, I don't see any yet. Now, for all the attendees out there, at the bottom of your screen, you'll see a Q&A option, which you can select. If you would like to place your questions in there, we will try and get to as many questions as possible throughout the presentation. So if you have them, don't hold off till the end. We'll take a look kind of after each drill or slide, and Travis can best address those.
Okay. All right. So if we move forward, here's a 3-man 1 ball. We call it ping pong. We've kind of broke this off of the old school 3-man 2 ball drill. And part of this is the guy in the middle will go around those outside guys. So 1 and 2 are on the outside, 3 is in the middle. And so the pass would be from 1 to 3 right now. He would make the pass back to 1. 3 would go around 1, and then 1 would pass it to 2. 2 would pass it back to 3 as he goes around 1. So every time 3 is making his rounds around 1 or 2, he's receiving a pass. You can incorporate flips, passes from the ankles, backhanded passes. This has got some conditioning aspect to it, but a lot of it is being able to be creative with what you're doing. So a lot of the times when we're using this drill, we're doing a flip, some sort of flip implementation to it. So whether that's coming around the outside guy and making a flip so he's catching it, making that pass, or whatever it is, they're doing a pretty good job there. So, and there's a lot of touches within the time there. So, and only having those 3 guys, you're looking at 30 seconds, rotate one in and going again. So a lot of good touches within this.
So this type of drill, it's as a coach, you're probably a little bit, I wouldn't say less disciplined, but you're reinforcing creativity. You're reinforcing, obviously good mechanics, but if you're doing a backhand pass to a player, you're reinforcing the good backhand mechanics. You're not putting pressure on the player to make one certain type of pass.
Yeah, I mean, it could be whatever you choose to get out of it. For us, we kind of use this as the way for them to be able to get out of trouble when they're in close quarters of trying to make a play. They're able to get those multiple touches, and we're in some of the longer distance stick work stuff that we do. Making a backhand pass or something like that is probably not the most inopportune time. So for us, this is more of the time where our guys can work on some of the things that you wouldn't typically teach from a fundamental standpoint. But there certainly is where you could just say, hey, we're going to go right from ear to ear, left, right, and implementing a roll, implementing a split, whatever it is. That's the beauty of a lot of this stuff, is you can get whatever you want out of this.
Awesome. Thanks, Travis. Yeah. And I think that's important for a lot of coaches to know, is you can be creative with these type of things.
Yeah, certainly.
Yeah. Just like you and I were talking about kind of pre-session, 2 different coaches with 2 different approaches are going to have 2 different outcomes.
Yep.
Well, awesome. Thanks.
All right. We'll move on here. So we do a cluster. We used to do this where, you have, a bunch of guys standing where it's kind of a spoke. Each is kind of running down those lines. I kind of put it down the wing line and across the restraining box. But we used to go so you'd follow your pass. Now we just kind of keep them in the same line, so they'll just rotate within the line. So 1 stays with 1, 2 with 2, 3 with 3, 4 with 4. And so we could go over the shoulder, right-handed, and then make the pass to the next line right-handed, over the shoulder left to make that, catch it left over the shoulder, swing to the, split to the inside and make the pass left-handed. There's a lot of really nice things with this, and we typically use 2 balls with this drill. So when you're having 10 to 12 guys and you're getting this ball moving around, it comes at them pretty quick. So as soon as they get back to the beginning of the line, there's not a lot of wasted time there. So it's touching the ball, getting rid of it, and moving from there. And again, you can kind of do whatever you feel from a stick work standpoint of what you want to accomplish. And for us, we might use this once every 2 weeks, and it might be 2 different stick handling drills within it. So a roll away from pressure and make the pass, a split to the inside, making a pass fading away, so you're backing straight up down the line and making a straight over the hand pass. So like a pull pass, if you were trying to pull it back to the same spot that you were dodging from in offense. So a lot of neat stuff that you could do with this. A lot of people will use this for pregame stick work stuff, and we use it within our group situation. Anything, Brad?
No, I don't see anything on the Q&A. But you know what? I myself, when you're working in this into a pregame, what's your roster size?
For us, we've been in the mid 30s. So,
Okay,
but
so
yeah, we don't use this in a pregame. I've seen a bunch of other people use it for pregame, so we'll just use this for our group stick work. So,
and you'll incorporate poles, goalies, the
yeah,
whole group into this, right? This is not
yep,
exclusive to a position.
right. So when we do the group stick work, it's everybody out there. You'll see coming up though, the goalies aren't involved in these. They're involved in another one that we typically do. With these, past couple drills, it's moving pretty quick. So then we give them, I think it might be the next drill, where the goalies are involved working on their outlets. We give them a little bit of a break within this next drill.
Okay, so did have a question here, and it's
Yep.
just is one passing to one running in a pair, or is one passing over to two?
One is passing to 2 or 4, depending on which direction you're going.
Okay.
So it could be, one making a pass to 4 right-handed, and 4 catching it, right-handed over the shoulder and making the pass right-handed to 3. It could be 1 passing it right-handed, and 4 catching it left-handed, and then switching hands and making the pass right-handed. So there's a bunch of different scenarios of how you can kind of go through it,
Yeah.
and that's kind of the beauty of it.
Okay. And this, so question 2 was, and it's kind of a loaded question here because it says, how much time do you spend on stick work each day?
So for group stick work, so I'll show at the end of this. I'll show 2 practice plans.
Okay.
One is a group stick work day, and one is a team stick work day. But we do where we have before practice even starts, they have partner passing, where they'll get about 70 touches in. They'll do a shooting for the offensive guys. We'll do a shooting. Defensive guys will do a ladder, and then we'll do if it's a group stick work, we're doing 3 stations at 3 minutes apiece, and then we're doing some sort of game stick work.
Yeah.
And one day it might be 5 minutes with one, 54 drill, or it might be 2 32 drills, at 4 minutes apiece. So we count those game stick works as stick work.
Yeah. Okay.
So they're getting plenty of touches throughout the day. But at the end of this, there'll be 2 slides that show 2 different practice plans based on the progression of the week.
Okay. Awesome. Thanks.
Yep. You good?
Yeah.
All right. 2v1. So we'll do this. I think one of the most famous clips out there is Cornell, where you have lighting corners up. But for us, we'll use this as a group stick work. So again, you have 3 lines, and each person will kind of rotate through. So they'll go from offense 1, that's up top, to the defense in the middle there, to then the offense. So, and again, that's pulls and attack and midfielder playing each one of those spots. And it starts with the coach, making a pass to the D, and that defenseman, making a pass to the outside O, and then on that pass to the O, everybody runs up to the cone. D touches the cone and gets back. The O can then go around the cone, and they start it up. So you can incorporate where offense has to make a pass before they even get to the cone, flips, at the cone on offense. You can encourage, multiple touches within this drill. And obviously being a 2-on-1, it should only last, 4 seconds or so, and then you're rotating through. And so there's not a lot of standing around if you only have, let's say, 12 guys. You're talking about 15 seconds or so, and you're up again. So it's a nice drill to be going through. Guys aren't thinking of it as stick work, but for us, it's a stick work drill. They're able to make multiple touches. And again, we can kind of, incorporate some things that were in it, whether it's a flip, maybe a backhanded pass or whatever it is. But for the most part, it's about getting touches in a short period of time.
Okay, so one of the questions, and it goes back to actually the last couple of drills, is what have you had success with in terms of keeping the player engagement, the intensity, or the focus high through those repetitive drills? Because I guess the situation has presented, if a player thinks they're loses focus and it becomes monotonous, then all of a sudden it becomes an issue.
Yeah, well, all these drills, we have a catalog of these drills that we use. So, and everything's different. So, we might only use one of these drills, every 2 weeks. So, and then there's team stick work drills, so for the most part, it's a really quick, we're not doing 10 minutes, at each station. It's only 3 minutes. So they're getting a lot of touches, they're moving through. So this is these are pretty engaged, times for these guys. They're not, there's not a lot of standing around. So, they don't have time to really think too much of like, oh, why are we doing this? But they get to the end of the line and they're up again, and so doing the 2v1 stuff, I think a lot with this group stick work enables them to kind of have some fun with it too. So that kind of keeps them engaged.
So I'm kind of guessing there's probably a lot of chatter coming from the coaching staff and the other players. If this is a beginning of practice type scenario where everybody's getting a little bit of emotion into it, and you're trying to keep their focus. So I'm just envisioning that on the field.
Yeah, these guys, going to practice is probably their best part of their day, and so there's a lot of excitement with this stuff. And obviously, if you did each one of these drills every day, that would definitely wear on kids. So
yeah,
and that's why we do have that catalog where, and for the most part, and you'll see when we do group stick work, we're doing it only on a Monday, Tuesday when we're in season. Those are days that we're kind of working on us. And then when we're doing team stick work, that's more of a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday day. So that enables us to then start to implement things for scout for, our next opponent. So obviously the group stick work is going to take a little bit more time because we are, doing through 3 groups of it. We're rotating through. But we're getting a lot out of it. And those first couple of days we are, the primary focus is us. So,
gotcha. Okay, thanks.
all right. Up and out. So, we talked about this where, this is kind of that third stick work drill where it's a breather. Those other ones, we're trying not to let guys, stand around. We are giving them kind of a pass. This one, we're using the middle of the field. So we have 2 goalies in the cages. We have a group down with 1 goalie. We have a group at midfield. One of the players will pass it to the goalie. He'll break out towards that bottom of the wing line. And this is where, our goalies are working on their clear over the shoulder pass. Once he catches it, the next midi who's up at midfield breaks over the shoulder. He catches it and then moves it to the next goalie. For us, our goalies, have done a much better job with their clearing passes once we started doing this. We work on over-the-shoulder passes, and then we also implement on every other one just throw it to an open part of the field and get the bounce for him to run under. So we get some stick work with our goalies. We get the over-the-shoulder stuff with our midfielders or attackmen or defensemen, whoever's in these groups. And then they can work on throwing the ball to the open space for guys to be able to run under. So, and then this also gives them a little bit of a breather because they're not within those other 2 where it's constant, touches and moving. So a little bit of a break. We good, Brad?
No questions in the chat here. I'm just I can see someone typing, but I can't see what the.
Okay.
We can always revisit it if it pops into the screen here.
Yeah. I'll give you 2 seconds.
Well, I ran into this problem. I can see them typing because whoever it is texting me. So, I can see the number, but I don't recall the name just yet. But if you could keep your Q&As in the chat box, it would be phenomenal. A little bit easier for Travis and I to filter those through. So, Travis, some pretty interesting concepts in here. In terms of the staff, like you're manning these, a 30 large team. How many are there of you? What's your staff look like?
Yeah, so we have this year we were fully staffed. So we had a volunteer. So we had head coach, 2 assistants, a volunteer, and then a director of ops.
Okay.
So, and this was the first year that we've had that.
Now, maybe a little off topic, but do you film your practices?
Yeah, we film basically from the end of shooting, through the rest of practice.
And do you do that from elevated positions or different positions, or is it single
Yeah,
camera?
yeah, it's from the stands, that we'll do. So.
Okay. Nope, I just got the never mind question on there. Apparently, you just answered it.
Okay. All right. All right. So those 5 were our group stick work days. So, and like I said earlier, typically you'll see the practice plan typically Monday, Tuesday is your group stick work. And then the rest of the week we'll do some team stick work that enables us to have, a few extra minutes on the other end when we're doing man up, man down, skeleton offense, defense, whatever it is. So these are team stick work. So everybody's involved in this. So this is 6 line. So, you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So the arrows are the direction that you're running. The right and left or left, those are your catch and throw. So at 1, you're catching it right, you're switching hands and making the left-hand pass. At 2, you're catching it right, throwing it right. So it's over the shoulder, catch it right, throw it right. At 3, it is left. So you're catching it left, throwing it left. At 4, it's right. So you're catching it right, throw it left. At 5, it is right. So catch it right, throw it right. At 6, it's left. And then it's back over to 1. So typically we this is everybody. So we're typically starting with 4 balls. Depending on what that day looks like, we might start with 6. So the ball's in and out, and there's not a lot of standing around. Obviously, if you're with everybody, there's not going to be as many touches. So we try to implement as many balls as we can to keep guys moving through, so they can have as many touches as they can.
Sorry, had a little trouble unmuting there. Shown as a half field, but numbers. Can you do this both sides same time?
Oh yeah, if you've got the numbers, the main thing is if you're doing it with 12 guys, you're probably only doing it with 2 balls.
Right.
So it depends on how many guys you have. And for us, we've looked at it as 6, 4 to 6 balls based on what we're, if guys are really into it, as far as with their sticks. So this is probably not a Monday drill where you're putting 6 balls out there. So, but there certainly is where you could do 2 ends of this if you've got enough guys.
Okay, so one of the questions pertaining to this is, when you do run these drills, what tempo are you at? Are you doing it kind of as a walk, jog, then full speed progression, or is it game speed from the hop?
No, they should be going full go. Yeah, they've already done their stretching. They've already touched the ball, probably 70 times already with their partner passing before practice even started. They should be going.
Okay. Yeah, that was. I think that was pertaining to this You know, it was pertaining to all the slides in particular, but I mean, that makes game sense. You're not talking about a youth program, right? You're not talking about um, you know, a club program. You're talking about a NCAA Division I
Right.
lacrosse program.
Yeah.
So
Well, and the one thing with these, so these arrows, you're not going to the ball, you know, either. Everything is kind of over the shoulder or going away. So the different angles of being able to receive a pass and make a pass, you know, is something that you can get out of this drill as well.
incorporate any. I'm just looking at this drill and kind of seeing progressions in my head. Do you incorporate any shooting off of this, or do you have something that progresses off of this?
That goes into shooting, no.
Okay.
This is more of just get the ball going. You know, you could, you know, we did do a 12 line that went the other way of the field that incorporated into a shot into the net. But with this one, this was just more of, you know, get the ball moving with everybody.
Awesome. Thanks.
Yep. All right. Next one is a clearing stick work. The team in red is going one direction, and then the team in black is going the other. So I'll start kind of with the red. So you'll see the goalie, you know, on the end line here. He's receiving a pass from 5 that's going this way, and he's making the breakout pass to this defender, midfielder, attack, whatever it is, who's breaking out over the shoulder right, catching it, big turn, making the pass to this guy who's breaking out, stick in the left hand, so the stick is to the outside, catching that left, big turn, passing it right, throwing it to 3. So he's catching, sorry, that should have been flipped, left to right. So he's rolling and then breaking out over the shoulder here, right, catching it right, throwing it right to then left, big turn right, throwing it here, and then it just repeats itself to the other side. So we typically go about 2.5, 3 minutes based on the day, and then flip it to go to the other side. So this one is going here. When we flip, one is then going this way, and then everybody just changes. We'll start with the goalies with balls, and then we'll start typically up on the wings with balls. So the first initial whistle, 3 would throw to 4, 3 would throw to 4, and then the ball is still coming up this way here. And then you just follow your pass.
So I guess from an outsider, what levels of communication are you looking at through these stick work drills?
Yeah, so I mean, everything, you know, this is, you know, we call it clearing stick work, you know, so, you know, everything that the communication aspect of what you use in your clearing, you know, should be there. So a one more, you know, for us is a straight up pass. A slice is, you know, what 4, you know, is cutting. So and we tell our guys to use names, you know, Bob, John, you know, one more. You know, they should be using those as well. When we're talking 10-man ride stuff for a week, we might use this, but instead of throwing here, we're catching here and then throwing opposite to the other side. So, which is a cross it pass for us. So, all of the communication aspects still should be in this, and every team is going to have their different communication within the clearing situation.
And not to take away from the stick work drill or something like that, but you know, you get a freshman who's come in and you've got a group that are all coming from different programs, different areas of the country, maybe different countries, period.
Mm-hmm.
What does the language look like for you guys? Is there a kind of a handout with, you know, here's the terminology that we use, or is it kind of come to practice, pick up from our veteran leadership what we do? Because I know when you and I were playing, we kind of looked around at each other and went, okay, let's do what they're doing, because Randy Mearns and Dewey Jacobs and Reggie Thorpe and all those guys, they were all talking on the same page.
Right.
And times have changed. So is that a digital thing? Is it how do you guys handle that?
It's all the above. So when we come back, we don't jump into team practices. We start with individuals first. So you're talking 8 attackmen are together, and 14 midfielders and 12 defensemen, and then the goalies. And so we start that communication of what we're looking for, whether it's a stick work drill or a shooting drill. And then we start our team practices after that. So, we're not starting team practice until almost, the first or second week of October, based on what that year looks like. So they start to get, then a little bit more information when it comes to the team practice stuff. But we do have, our team communication website that we have downloaded information that they're able to see what the clears are looking like, what the communication looks like, the vocabulary on offense, defense, clearing, riding, all that stuff. So, but it's a mix of all that stuff. And the best part about it is when you start to have older guys, and those older guys are talking to those freshmen, that's when things start to get, start to actually, be remembered. And this is how we do. We can write up all the things that we want. We can talk about all the things, but once those older guys are actually teaching the younger guys, that's when you actually have some things that kind of fall into place.
Nice. Now you may have mentioned it at first, just a question that came in, but video clips. Do you have those posted to where?
So we have typically we posted to our communication site. So we use this program called SportsU for everything.
Oh, sorry, I meant publicly. Like, is there a question was, is there anywhere where I can see the clearing stick work drills?
Oh yeah, clearing stick work, no. But those are things that I could film this fall and certainly send it out to you, and then you can forward it on. So
yeah, we'll post it.
Yeah, so everything that we've done as far as filming, we've it's a lot of things to kind of cycle through. So what we've done is more of after our shooting started to film stuff. So your 4-on-4s, 5-on-5s, 6-on-6 stuff, clearing rides, that kind of stuff.
Okay.
So this stuff we haven't filmed, but I can certainly do that this fall for you guys to share.
Okay, great. And the second was, do you have a version of the drill, which I think it was this last drill that was being referred to, but do you have a version of that drill that simulates pressure?
For this one, there is a version that we haven't done because it takes a lot of bodies where the second guy in line will actually follow that guy receiving the pass. But for the most part, this is a stick work drill. We do another drill, a 4-on-3 on each side of the field that we kind of simulate 10-man ride kind of principles into it. But for the most part, we're using this as a stick work drill, to kind of get ready for everything else that we're going to do that day.
Right. I guess if you're sending a guy plus a chaser, you're talking about 20 guys in action, as it is, right?
Right.
So, and I guess when you have a roster in the 30s, it's guys that are doing double the work and not necessarily getting the right outcomes.
Right.
Joe, we're gonna be posting versions of this. So you just asked a question if we can share this. Most of our presentations will be downloaded and available in PDF formats.
Okay.
All right, we're good.
Good.
Yep.
So this is a spoke drill. So there's 4 lines on the outside, 4 lines on the inside. Again, you follow your pass. The black arrows are the breakouts, and then the green arrows are the passes. So pass is 5 to 6, 6 passes to 7, 7 would pass to 8, and then 8 would pass to 1, 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4. So 3, the 1, 3, 5, and 7 lines on the outside are typically a catch to the outside, left to right, or right to left, whatever direction that we go. And then the inside lines are all one-handed. So it's a one-handed catch, right, throw right, or a left. So we're trying to catch everything kind of going away from the ball carrier. So, and then we'll put 4 balls into this and just get going.
So again, another kind of high tempo, high engagement type drill, just to keep them on their toes and keeping their sticks up and active. So I guess we'll look at a practice plan after. I was going to ask how many of these you'd incorporate, but let's wait and let's see a practice plan.
Yep. Yeah, and so this too is, you're not running, the 4 to 5 pass. You're catching the ball, throwing it, and then in this sequence it's right, and then 5 would catch, basically standing still, left to right. But we're making passes going away, where this one we're making a pass and he's catching it too. But we're trying to incorporate different angles of being able to make passes.
Right. Okay. That's awesome.
All right. So game stick work type stuff. So again, these are your unsettled numbers advantage. Here's a 3v2 sideways. So we go both sides with this, and then we'll flip. So right now, red would be on offense, black would be on defense. Once a shot is taken, score, save, wide, a turnover, whatever it is, the last person to touch the ball would be out. The other 2 would go in and play defense to the other side. We put cones down the middle of the cage, and so you have to play on that one side of the field. So it's just a 3-on-2, just going back and forth, and then we'll flip. So, right now, red would be on the right side, white would be on the left, and then they would flip. So then they get the opposite side that they were previously on. So again, we're going somewhere between 2.5, 3 minutes with this, and then flipping. So they get two different sides.
We were talking about this earlier. What do you tell your defense in these type of situations where it's, the shot and the selection is already going to be at a premium for the offensive guys? Philosophy wise, is this similar to what you and I were speaking about prior to, slide to them, make them move the ball?
Yeah, I mean, it could change. It could change every time that we do this. For the most part, though, you want to make them hold the ball and make as many passes as they can. If they're making 4 or 5 passes, the defense won. So, there's a lot that can kind of go into it, but realistically, the offense should score every time. And hold the ball. That's a win, on the defensive side. But that could be, a hold as long as you can. That could be, a scrape where you go to the first pass and then follow your pass back. So there's a lot of things that you could do. And part of that is just to change it up from a defensive standpoint and try to confuse those offensive players so they can make better decisions. And part of this, unsettled, stick work that we're doing is so kids can, have their stick work in, but then make quicker decisions, because everything's happening faster.
Awesome. Okay.
A 32 scramble. So based on, for us, we'll probably start 3 yards on each side of the crease. But there would be times where we put the cones right at the tangent of the crease and right up. So it's really tight. First 3 red will come in. First 2 white come in. they'll move the ball, get the shot turnover, whatever, and then the ball is immediately going in again with that same group. So each group gets 2 touches and then out, and then the next 3 red come in. We're only going red on offense and white on defense, and then they flip and go from there. So, guys love this drill. It's pretty challenging, especially in tight spaces, but and then they get the 2 balls out of it. So we feel like they get enough touches, being able to be able to play in too tight of a spot. So.
Sure. I'm actually jotting down some notes myself on here. It looks pretty familiar. Obviously, I've got some boards and glass up on what we do of this, but this type of drill, where's this? Does this become a core drill for you guys?
Yeah, we actually started using it the last game or 2 of pregame, because our guys like it. They like the competitive nature of it. The one thing with that is, again, it's your long pulls are in this. The stick work that you see with our guys just continues to improve. Being able to handle in those tight spots, can make a difference and give those guys confidence. So for us, it's a pretty fun drill because it's really quick, but the amount of things that they're getting out of it are pretty good.
Awesome, thanks.
We do short field. So this is West Jenny. We just pull the goals up to the box, and 2 defensemen are out. 3 white come in, and everything that we're doing, it starts with a pass from the goalie up to those middies, breaking up, and we're trying to push the ball ahead. So, whatever guys are ahead, we're trying to push it to them and try to create some open looks. And the last guy that touches the ball steps out, and the 2 guys have to run back in and play defense from there. Again, it's, you should be getting some good looks at the cage, but it's a pretty quick back and forth stick work drill that we use. So, everybody probably incorporates the West Jenny drill at some point. So, but for us, it's a pretty fun. Guys get excited about it, and and then to be able to run up and down the field, a short field, it gives us the opportunity where the stick work is quicker than a full field drill.
Yeah, gotcha. That makes sense. You see a lot of variations of it, and a lot of the same sort of outcome processes. So we did a question came in a little bit late on the 3-versus-2 scramble. Was the result of that, is the goal of that maintaining possession or getting to the net with a quality shot?
Getting in that and shooting it.
Okay.
Yeah. So everything is to a shot to the cage, but the primary is to handle the ball in tight spots. That's the primary goal. We good?
Yeah. We seem to be good. We're gonna run tight for time here. So.
Okay. All right. Next one is 54 continuous. So you have the West Jenny as a 3v2. Now we go to a 54. So we'll have attack on the opposite end with the defense on both ends, 2 lines of each color. We drop the cage instead of at the restraining line, we drop it down 5 yards. So a little bit further, but when you're adding a 54 from the 32, that little extra space there. So last guy down to touch it midfield wise is out. The next midi drops back in the hole, and then 2 middies are breaking out, and it's a 54. So for the most part, everything for us is stay above the cage. This is where your pass down, pick down concepts go. However you are running, your kind of unsettled transition. This is a time to be able to run that, and then defensively, how are you, like for us, changing up picks, how we're doing that every day that we do run this, we're changing something. So gives them the ability to kind of run up and down, but then adds a few more guys to it into the unsettled stuff. So.
Awesome. So far, we're good on the questions. So.
Okay. So that's it for drill stuff. You know, and obviously we have a catalog of all those things, but I thought those were some good ones to be able to take out. This would be a practice of that would include our 3-station stick work. So you kind of see down here 2.5 minutes times 3, and then we jump into a short field 3v2, and then we jump down into our shooting and defensive work. But this is, we're not doing a lot of stick work when we're doing, we're not doing any team stuff. If we are doing stations, we're jumping from stations into whatever the game stick work is. So that day was a 32 short field off of a GB, and then we go from there. So, and then you'll see pre-game, stick work, ladder work, footwork stuff for our guys, a stretch, ground ball drill. That day we did do a team up and out to a shot. But for the most part, when we go from a 3-station stick work drill, then we'll go into our game stick work and then into shooting typically from there.
Awesome. Just taking some inventory here.
Yep. So, and then, and I think this was a Tuesday, and then this was the next day on a Wednesday. So then you see your 6 line. We did a team up and out again, and then we did a 54 continuous, into our shooting drills. So there was no station work after that. Once shooting was done, then I think we broke up into skeleton. So we did our skeleton offense, defense to cover our next opponent, because I think it was a Wednesday.
Awesome. Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Okay. So if you've got any questions for Travis, Travis, you want to turn the screen share off?
I can keep that on just to if they have a question on a drill, I can go back.
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah, feel free to put some questions in the chat, and there we go. Let's see what we've got here. No, it was just a comment, and Chloe says that was fabulous, and thank you very much.
Oh, awesome! Appreciate it.
So yeah, if there's any questions here, we're approaching the hour that we kind of promised to our presenters to keep it under. But if there's any questions, I'm sure Travis would be more than willing to answer some of these.
Yep.
If not, thanks everybody for being on here today. We'll give it a few more seconds here. Nope, just some good thank yous from different people. So Chloe, that's a question for myself. The slides will be uploaded into the Summit platform, so you'll be able to check back onto Travis's page, I guess you could say, and they'll be posted there. Just give us some time, because we're kind of like a 2-person show trying to get all these presenters arranged, the videos and things like that. So yes, the answer is yes. It will be up. When it will be up, it will probably be late sometime tonight. Just a lot of thank yous from a lot of people right now. So.
All right. Awesome.
Okay.
Right.
Well, you know what? I think we can wrap this up, Trav.
All right. Awesome. I appreciate it, Brad. I appreciate all the effort here.
Yeah. Hey, no problem. You and your family stay safe. I'm sure you and I will be chatting offline pretty soon anyways.
All right. Sounds good. I'll talk to you. Thanks. Appreciate it.
Take care.